Hello and welcome back to the Trading Post. I'm Terry, and today I have a very special guest with me here at the Creator Summit, Mr. Maindeck Dan himself. Thank you so much for joining, man.
I'm happy to. Anytime, Terry.
Yeah, this is super cool.
It's good to be on your channel for the first time.
Yeah, hopefully not the last after this, right?
Actually, I hope it is.
yeah. Fair. Hey, no. But it's been a crazy weekend here. And I think that something I realized being here, Grand Archive, Creator Summit, is just how good we have it being involved in this game. And it got me thinking, and I thought you'd be the guy that would be perfect to talk about this. A lot of card games don't make it. There's a lot of card games. We live in the age of TCGs.
Yeah, I mean, it's another golden age.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure we'll dig into it, but
Yeah.
like just this idea that there are more TCGs than ever before that can be supported.
100%.
But then there's a magnitude more that are coming out, you know? So it's like, it's a weird like double-edged, like they last longer than ever before.
Sure.
It used to be, you know, if a TCG doesn't, a lot of TCGs would make it 3 to 5 years at most and they're done.
Yeah.
And other than the big ones,
Yeah.
right? Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon.
Yeah.
Now we have tons of games that are hitting those marks and going well past them and looking super strong.
Yeah.
But then also, like, back then it was like a few games would come out and they would make it. Now, even you just don't look at Kickstarter.
Yeah, I was going to say, have you
don't.
been to Kickstarter lately?
Yeah, no, it's the amount that come out is ridiculous.
It's wild. Well, it's because people know we're in the age of TCGs, and they know that when you do get one that sticks, from a creator side, I mean, if enough people jump into it, there's money to be made, right?
Mm-hmm.
And these games, I mean, the biggest reason I want to bring this up is because you are the guy that plays more card games than almost anybody I know. And I know that you've got like Cyberpunk coming up, and you've got all of these. I watch your channel. Most of these people watch your channel. So, but that being said, I am becoming a new shop owner, card shop owner. The Trading Post opening here in the next month or two.
very scary.
It's very scary. And it got me thinking about this because the biggest thing we are trying to create at our stores, we're trying to create instead of like a card shop, more of a card lounge, very community focused, very more experience based. You want to spend your time there to get away, not just I'm coming in here to buy Pokemon packs to rip and then walk out the door. And that's something that we're really trying to create, but community is super important to us. And as somebody who has traveled the world playing competitive card games myself, I want to bring that kind of feeling and that excitement to a local level here in Michigan. And that's something I'm trying to do. And with that, I have to figure out the games that make sense, right?
Yeah.
And so how do we tell those? How do we tell them apart? What makes a game fail? Do you want to start with what makes it fail or what makes it succeed? I'm going to let you glass half empty, half full. Blue pill, red pill.
Okay. That's like, I almost think that's like a bit of it's sort of a loaded question in some way, or it's very difficult really to talk about what makes a TCG succeed, I think.
Sure.
In general. I guess it's way easier to point out where historically various TCGs have made their mistake, right? Like
100%.
they did that was it right there. That was the issue.
The old refractor frame conundrum.
Yeah.
Conundrum.
Right. It's like there are a number of games where you can really pinpoint down to one particular decision or one particular sort of cascading set of issues, and unfortunately, sometimes one particular element, like it just wasn't the right time. Or you know, I don't know, like something else released.
There's
at the
definitely,
same time.
especially now with all the games, there's definitely a luck. But I think that there's a lot of things that people need to do, a lot of things that games need to have to be successful, and some games just don't.
Right. So I guess if I can distill that question and I'm going to bring them both into one.
Sure,
right?
I love that.
In my experience, what I see from the TCGs that are successful, I guess I'm going to give it two strains, right? Strain A, gigantic company, big IP.
Sure, yeah, the
I
classic.
mean, like, I'm not going to sit here and tell all the One Piece players that, like, you know, their game wasn't successful or something, because maybe I can do it on your channel.
Yeah.
But like when I do anything that even insinuate, which I never say that, but
Sure.
if I ever don't talk about One Piece or don't talk about Yu-Gi-Oh in a discussion, your comments get full of stuff. So there's a lot of passionate players for their IP, especially IP based like
Of
Bandai
course.
games and everything. And obviously when a company's just got a good set of capital when they're jumping in. They have a hot IP. Hard to fail, right?
Yeah, look at Riftbound.
Right.
Like, they literally tripped out the starting gate, didn't even start running when the gun shot.
Yeah, it's like, you watch them do things where if you take any smaller TCG, they make those set of mistakes.
It's over.
It's done.
Yeah.
There's no recovery from that, right? I'm on your channel, so I'm going to talk pretty candidly.
I love
about
that. Yeah.
some stuff. So a game like Altered was one that did one of the highest funded TCG Kickstarter of all time. Absolutely insane.
I remember. It was wild.
Boxes of set one, $10 right now. $10
Oh my gosh.
for a booster box. A
$10?
36-pack booster box.
So you're telling me if I am addicted to ripping packs,
It's cheap.
I should get into Altered?
It's cheap. Yeah, and they're trying, right? They're really trying to pull it back together. But for example, in that game, it was a series of they had a really ambitious concept, then they didn't have it ready on release. They lost a lot of momentum from that. There were some issues, I would say, with some of their ambitious ideas and how they were trying some cool things, and I just don't think they were completely figured out.
Sure.
It's a game I really like, and I really like the company and the people behind it, but it's, what that comes down to is just an example of when you don't have that capital, when you don't have that IP, where you can just kind of riot your way through something, if that's fair
Wow.
to say.
That was wild. That was so good.
Yeah, you're
That's why they
welcome.
pay you the big bucks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When you don't have that, what I think it is a lot of the time is you need the company making this game, you need a small set of professionals who can you need to be able to do more with less, right? You can't be paying 30 people to make your game when you're an indie TCG trying to succeed, because the amount of revenue that you need to keep up with everything that comes with scaling your company to that size is kind of obscene, or you're just going to be in the red constantly.
Sure.
Right? So you need to be agile, you need to be small, and you need people working on this company who are so focused on not just doing things well, or not just doing things okay, but doing things better than everyone else.
Sure.
Right? Because at the end of the day, you have a small TCG that comes out. As much as you want to say, my TCG is so cool, it's the best TCG. If you can't have your game on the shelf of the trading post next to the other ones, and people go, oh, wow, that looks better than this in X, Y, and Z way, I want to play that.
Sure.
Then you're going to have people going, that game looks cool, but there are 600 players for this one.
Right.
And I'm just going to play that. I'm right now we're watching, actually, I'm sorry, I'm talking so much.
No, I love it.
Okay.
No, you're totally fine.
Right now we're watching a game that launched on Kickstarter called Warlord.
Okay.
It was a game that came back from the late 90s, early 2000s, somewhere in that range. Initially designed by, I believe it was an AEG game then. Very cool game. Extremely cool. In fact, I've done videos like, at least one video talking about how much I liked this game. No, I did two, I think.
Yeah.
It's an awesome game. The game being cool doesn't help the fact that their Kickstarter got delayed a ridiculous amount of time, over a year, to actually release to people. Their marketing seems to be focused right now on, if you played this game in the early 2000s, like,
you're going to love it.
You're going to love it, which is not true, true, but also true that if you play it now, you're going to love it.
Sure.
But I don't see some of this like focus on, okay, let's market better, or let's have better looking cards, or let's have a better OP structure, or let's have a better tournament software, or let's have it's a lot of, well, we're going to do all these things kind of the same way as some people, but hey, our game's really good.
Yeah.
And today, that's the big issue.
That's just not enough.
Yeah.
And I think I think you hit it nail on the head from like a macro side, right? It's these companies come in, they want to compete with the big dogs because they know there's something there. And TCG players are some of the most passionate people in the world. Like, people that love their TCG love it. As you said, if you don't talk about a certain game at a certain, like if you're doing a tier list of best games and you leave out Flesh and Blood, you better watch out.
Yeah, you're done.
I mean, they're coming
well,
for you.
Really good for engagement.
Yeah. Oh,
what it's
great.
worth.
Great. Oh, yeah. Make some great. If you really want to build that, it's fantastic. But from a community standpoint, right? People love what they're doing, and for us at the Trading Post, we're learning. We're opening the shop. We have a lot of people. We have a very small team, but very passionate, very skilled, with a lot of experience in running stores. And so we are excited. We're very much looking forward to it. And I think everything you said leans up perfectly to all the big picture stuff. Obviously is huge. I think another whole portion of that comes down to how your game does at the local game store level, right? Why are these stores pushing your product? Not just buying it from a distributor, from Southern Hobby, whatever, right? Sure, that matters. It's a number, right? And the numbers matter, but the longevity, right? This is talking the difference between having a really exciting set one, like Altered, that had an incredible set one. I remember spending $140+ a box out the gates for first ed boxes. Like, I was so excited for Altered.
Yeah.
And now now we can find boxes as cheap as $10, as you're saying, right? So how do we take all of doing the right things, getting the marketing correct, right, on the large level, and getting it initially in these stores and through distributors, whatever it may be, and turn that into a long-term driving force to create a game that lives past a year? And this is the big question, right? I mean, if everybody could answer it, then we'd all have games, and we'd all be doing great.
Right.
But this is kind of the last thing I wanted to talk about with you. I know this is kind of a quicker thing we're doing today, but we've talked about the big picture. And I want to know, as somebody who helps run a store over there, which I want to give them a little shout out. Why don't you say a little bit about?
Yeah, I mean, thank you so much. It's kind of fun to go on Trading Post channel and talk about my store.
Yeah.
I mean, I work for JWW Sports Cars and Gaming.
Love it.
They sponsor
Big shout
the
out.
Maindeck team hugely.
Yeah.
I actually run our online store.
Yeah.
That's my full-time job is managing our warehouse, managing our online shipping, event schedules, that kind of stuff.
So you have a lot of experience working in the stores and knowing what works and what doesn't.
And I have a decade at a different store before this.
Sure,
too.
exactly.
So
that's why I wanted to ask you. I mean, you have a lot of experience. And I think that as somebody who is so involved with small games, I mean, honestly, you're one of the most involved people. I mean, you and Kel are some of the most involved people when it comes to exciting new games.
Yeah.
And you see what works, what lives in a store. You've lived it. And you're looking at these games. You're finding them. A lot of stores, they care about the big three. They care about the big games, right? They're not trying to create communities for these small games and watch them nurture and grow.
Right.
So what do you think, what do these companies have to do that right? What do you need at a local game store level to create a community playing these games?
The companies need to simply capture the interest of the store. What we see historically is that at your store, what's popular is often based on which members of your community are there to promote it. Right?
For sure. Pillars are super important. Like having people come in that want to play that game.
Pillars, anchors,
Yes.
whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Ultimately, you're looking for a charismatic enough person who cares about the game a massive amount. And you even in communities like, I think a lot of people will look at games that are anime based.
Sure.
And they'll say, okay, so those are very, very popular on like the West Coast, for example. And you go to the Midwest and it's a lot more hit or miss, right?
Sure, yeah.
And
definitely.
A lot of that comes down to the fact that it's frankly just easier to find people who are anime interested and TCG interested on the West Coast so that you can find that 1 in 1,000 people for your store who can anchor it.
Sure.
Right?
I mean, that makes sense.
Who can be the pillar and promote it and get people excited. If you have, when we have stores in the Midwest, like for example, here at J-Dubs, we had me.
Yeah, sure.
I was very excited about the game. I got the owner into it. The owner was very excited about the game. And we have one of the biggest single TCG or single Grand Archive community in a 5-state radius, right? In North Dakota, right? I mean, you're in Michigan, right? So you still have more access to
definitely
bigger cities and everything
100%.
than I do. But it still is sometimes difficult to get a community like that together. And it comes down to who's supporting it. So at the end of the day, if the TCG wants to succeed, they need to be able to impress the people who will get excited about the game, right? And I mean, I don't want to answer this question in the same way I answered the first one.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, when Grand Archive first came out,
Yeah.
I've talked about this a million times on my channel, but there was a Facebook ad that Sil did for free.
Sure.
Sil, the lead dev, he saw that Facebook was offering a free ad, did one. I saw a picture of Lorraine. I clicked on it because I try to pay attention to Kickstarter TCGs, and I looked at the website, and but I can distinctly tell you, it wasn't that I just like bought every TCG. I actually backed very few Kickstarter TCGs. I did back very few.
Sure.
I try to play a lot of them.
Yeah.
Not the ones that I know are going to fail.
Sure.
Because when I looked through that website, I saw a few very, very particular things that got my attention. And I guess if I was giving advice to a creator of a new TCG, it's to do some of these things that got my attention. So the things I saw were, I looked at the artwork, high quality. I could tell right away. And you look at enough art, right?
Yeah. Especially in this day and age.
There's a quality gradient.
Definitely.
It wasn't AI. That wasn't a thing really at the time.
Right, sure.
But like, man, don't do it.
Yeah.
Just skip it. You can tell it's not good. The artwork was quality. I looked at the card templating. The card templating was clean and looked nice and still kind of evocative of a medieval fantasy. Alongside that anime artwork, I thought it was a nice looking card.
Totally.
I went back and looked at the collector rare Lorraine that they showed back then, and it's like totally different than collector. The collector rares now look actually way better.
Oh my gosh, some of the on the high end guys, if you haven't had a chance to look at some of these collector rares, do it.
Yeah,
they're unreal.
But I saw that, like, just even the presentation of this card, I already could just sit there and compare this to cards from a million other Kickstarter TCGs, and very easily say this looks like more effort was put into it, right? And again, just going back to it, you got to be putting in the effort. You got to be, as a company, you got to be making sure when I compare this thing to everything else, that it looks good, that it compares favorably.
Yeah, I mean, it has to.
Because you can't get there on just, but my game is good. You never want to say, but my game is good. You want to say, and my game is good.
Yes.
Right?
Totally.
I think that's the easiest way to put that. But I continued looking through the page. I saw a lot of statements about things that I personally valued. The focus on collectability I thought was really strong. I think not at the time they talked about their plans for Path of Silver, but when I learned about that, the collector events for this game, I thought that's unique, that's innovative. They talked about wanting to have their own tournament software. I looked into their history, and it was with software development, and I thought, okay, that's not on Cardio, so that's great, because Cardio
oh my goodness,
is bad.
And Omnidex is not.
And Omnidex is not bad.
Yeah.
They did at the time talk about NFTs, and I did not like that.
Yes, that was the thing that actually pushed me away.
Yeah.
In the early days, I was like, oh no, I don't know how I feel about this.
They nixed it.
They did.
So
that worked out for them.
But it gave me, looking through this page, just kind of seeing all these elements that ultimately made me think, what is happening with Grand Archive right now is clearly a set of people who actually understand what you need to do to stand out on the shelf are making this game. So it was worth me joining the Discord and checking out how the gameplay was. I saw the gameplay, and then I thought, and this game is good.
And this game is good.
Right?
Totally.
And at that point, I was like, okay, this is finally a game on Kickstarter that I have full faith. I think this is going to succeed.
Yeah. And look where we are now. 3 years later since Kickstarter, just about. And the game is growing at an exponential rate. The tournaments are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. We almost reached 1,000 players in Japan, right?
Yeah.
In Aki, which is amazing. Southeast Asia is exploding.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and everywhere in the world is starting to, like, I can't tell you how many more people I talk to now when I say, I've played Grand Archive for a living for a long time. And when I tell people, oh, I just play trading cards, they ask what game, right? I go, well, I play a game called Grand Archive. I can't tell you how many people now go, oh, Grand Archive, or yeah, I've heard of that game, or I really like the art for that game, or something along those lines.
Yeah.
It is becoming a household name in TCGs, and that is incredible. I love that.
Yeah.
And that is why we are here. We know the developers. We've got to grow with them and see this. We've seen them make mistakes. We've seen them push through them and make the right decisions as well.
Right.
And I think that games like this, that anyone you talk to, if you ask them, I would put money that 9 out of 10 people you ask what their favorite thing about Grand Archive is, and they would say the community. And that is kind of the point I wanted to drive home as we close this out today, is just the people that you get into your game. As you said, it's very important. If you hit and check all the boxes and attract the right people, you are going to create not just a card game that's good, but you're going to create a community that drives and wants your game to thrive, right? They want to push your game. I, as someone who has played Grand Archive the past 3 years, all I've ever wanted for the game is to watch it grow. And I play a lot of card games, and now I run a store that has communities for multiple card games, right? And that we're trying to grow and we're trying to build right now. And as a new store, I want to support games like Grand Archive because I think that there is something there. And I think that that is kind of the essence of this whole world, this TCG world, is creating just this passionate area where we get to go, be creative, and work our brains in a way, competitively or not, right? Mm-hmm. And now, here this weekend, we got to experience the casual format as well, Pantheon, which, if you guys are here at our channel, you are going to be seeing a lot more Pantheon videos. This is airing, I know just a couple days ago, we aired our first video, Pantheon, of myself playing with 3 of the devs, having an incredibly fun game. The sky's the limit right now. I'm ecstatic. Everybody here is excited. I can't wait to see where Grand Archive is in 2 years, like as we grow.
Yeah, I mean, Pantheon's a huge addition to the game. You know, if we're going to be honest, we're going to talk about like the specifics of Grand Archive and where, you know, we glaze it a lot because really, like I said, I don't see a lot of companies making as consistently the way I put the philosophy of Weaves of the Shore when I'm looking at the decisions they're making is they are perfectionists.
Totally.
And like you said, they don't always succeed.
No.
But they try to correct things in the best way they can. They try to make everything they do be the best. It's a philosophy that if it's your guiding principle for a TCG, it can get you very far.
Yeah.
That said, Grand Archive has had one, I think, the biggest issue in Grand Archive. And there may be a few still that people should talk about, but what I've always felt was the biggest issue was that the game was designed so well for competitive play that casual players quickly get left in the dust. It's very, very easy you can even know your deck well, but if you go to a tournament and you don't know every other deck in the metagame, you are probably not going to do well.
Yeah.
Because it is such an intricate, interaction-based game where every decision point matters and you need to know what your opponent's doing consistently to be able to succeed.
Yeah.
So Pantheon is here.
Yes.
And now we have an answer to this saying, that's fine. You no longer really have to know because we have a format that's designed for you just to have fun.
Yeah.
And again, we just see a lot of the problems with the game continue to be answered when they exist.
Yeah.
And, you know, Radiant Origins coming out with the new Recollection deck. And I know a few extra things.
Yeah, just a couple.
I'll say about the new Recollection deck. It's going to be incredible for players who are new to the game, players who want to play on a budget. Basically, everything that I think people complain about where the pricing of the game are answered within that deck for that specific deck.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be another great addition to their arsenal of we have all these and our game is good.
Yes. 100%. And our game is good. Can't say that enough. Well, Dan, thank you so much, man, for coming on the channel, hanging out, just talking a little bit about card games in general. I know, like I said, you're the guy. You know so much about this, and I love picking your brain about it. I look forward to working with you more in the future and playing more card games. Man, we got to play a lot of cards this weekend.
We did. It was good.
Yes.
It was a good time.
Yes, this game, high hopes for it. So thank you guys for hanging out. If you like this kind of content, you want to learn a little bit more about Grand Archive, don't forget to check out Maindeck's channel. Link's going to be below. But also, just like and subscribe here. We've got gameplay, lots of Pantheon coming your guys' way, as well as tons of other great content. Again, Dan, thank you so much. If you guys want to join a community like this, don't forget to join our Discord, use the links below, and come hang out at the Trading Post.